A lot of people don't realize is the Franklin fire was December 10th. I was putting out a fire in this community right here. So there are many homes right where we were that burned. So this was not up yet. So last Christmas was pretty difficult, and then we got another 1-2 punch of Palisades. So
I have to ask, why is baby Jesus in a cage?
The nativity scene is the original Christmas icon, and for 62 years, a beautiful nativity has been on display along one of the most beautiful highways in America, the Pacific Coast Highway. 1 year ago, the tragic fires raged through the region. Even though a small minority in the community don't love this prominent Christmas display, the nativity has extra meaning this year as the community is finding hope in the true meaning of Christmas.
it started in 1963.
Okay.
And it was first started with 5 of the churches here in Malibu.
Okay.
To start with a community. And it was not actually a nativity scene the first year. It was actually a wreath. So the wreath was put together by 5 of the congregations here in Malibu. And then the next year in 1964 is where we built the nativity scene. Well, I didn't build it. They built it on site.
Okay.
And then it's gone every year since then.
Wow.
And it's changed a little bit over the years, but these sculptures here were actually hand carved in Italy.
Yeah. Well, and I have to ask, why is baby Jesus in a cage? I think there's
unfortunately, we have lost baby Jesus.
Okay.
He's been found.
He's been found.
And we lost a sheep 1 year. So unfortunately, we've had to be a little more protective here because these sculptures are actually priceless. They've been here with us for many, many, many years.
Really?
And they are irreplaceable.
Yeah.
They're hand carved.
Did you guys ever catch whoever stole baby Jesus?
We did not.
Yeah.
But we have him back. So
Great,
that's
great.
what we need.
And so I was reading online, like some Hollywood stars helped pay to get another baby Jesus, or something like that.
I mean, we have, of course, this is Malibu.
This is Malibu,
the stars. So there are a lot of celebrities that are around that it's very important to, that are part of the parish here, the congregation, and they all have chipped in.
Okay.
Everyone chips in every year.
Anybody we would know? Or are you not allowed to say? Is it they kind of want to keep it private?
A lot of people. The great thing about celebrities, because I'm from the East Coast, I thought celebrities were like, but a lot of them just want to be, just
that's good to hear.
Here's what we do. We don't need to be acknowledged for it.
So has there been pushback? I mean, California is not known for its strong conservative values. We're in Malibu, a very liberal, progressive area. Has there been pushback? I mean, right there is PCH. Hundreds of thousands of people go by this every single day.
True. So I, as president of Keeping Christ in Christmas, my job is to get the permit.
Okay.
And
is that a yearly thing?
This is a yearly thing that I have to get the permit awarded.
You guys have a mission, Keeping Christ in Christmas. Is this to remind the Christians in the area? Or is there also stories of like a non-Christian who maybe is angry about it, but now they're like,
well, what I love about it is, so my husband grew up here, but this is what a lot of people are reminded about that are in this community. And it brings back, I remember seeing this as a child.
Yeah.
But one thing that's so wonderful about this is it's the entire community. It's not just one congregation.
Cool.
And every Sunday we do come here and we have Christmas carols and we enjoy lighting the candle for the week. So on the third week,
there's Advent candles here.
Yes.
Oh,
so
cool.
this past Sunday we lit the first candle, and the service was led by Father Larry, who is at Sarah Retreat.
Okay.
And on the third Sunday, I know this one is Joy, and I am a parent at Our Lady of Malibu. I have 3 sons there. My husband went there back in the 80s. Yeah. And I am leading the service with all the children. So we're going to be singing carols with all the kids out here, including my kids, and singing Christmas carols. And at the end, we always turn and face PCH and sing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" to all the cars going by.
Nice.
So that was really great this past Sunday.
Yeah.
Everyone was honking as they were going by, and it was just it was a great experience. There is a camera, and there was a homeless person that flashed baby Jesus.
Because this is the Salty Christian YouTube channel, I love featuring stories of people being salt and light. This is showcasing the light of the world right here in California. any advice to someone who's trying to be salt and light in a place that's maybe not as accepting of Christian beliefs?
So I can be that salty person.
Yeah.
So I'm from North Carolina. I've tried to get rid of my accent, but it might come back.
I hear a little hint of it in there.
And it was really hard for me moving to California.
Yeah.
I moved back here, well, the last time was in 2007.
Okay.
And I didn't have a church. I didn't have, where I felt moved in.
Yeah.
And because in North Carolina, you're either Methodist or Baptist. That's about it.
And there's a church on every corner.
Pretty much.
Almost, yeah.
And I sat on the second row with my grandma every year. Our whole family sat on that second row for 50 years. And when I came here, I just felt really out of place. And I found my home at Our Lady of Malibu Church and school. The school is really what's really made part of that community. And that's why I decided to do this. So I taught first grade there last year, and I wanted my kids to have the experience that my husband had of like, oh, there's that nativity scene.
Yeah.
They might not put it together. It's about Jesus because it's Christmas, but then in the back of their mind, and they'll always know there's a community. So this for me is like, you have to find your own community, and it might not be exactly what you thought it was going to look like. And for me, it was to make sure there's a nativity scene here and to remind everybody what Christmas is all about.
That's amazing. Speaking of community, this community is right next to the Pacific Palisades. There was fires. You guys, is this going to be a different Christmas? Just recognizing all the tragedy that's happened around here.
So what a lot of people don't realize is the Franklin fire was December 10th. And I was putting out a fire in this community right here. So there are many homes right where we were that burned. So this was not up yet.
Okay.
So the Palisades fire didn't burn this far because of the Franklin fire.
Yeah.
So God was thinking about us because the burn scar stopped the Palisades fire. So that is what stopped the Palisades fire coming down PCH.
Oh, really?
So
there's I don't know it yet, but there's a symbolism of that, like how our scars and that's
it's
interesting.
very interesting of how they call it as burn star. But Franklin fire burned all of these homes back here. Several homes in Sarah Retreat, which is the cross right over here. Actually lost 4 homes in that community, which is probably about 500 yards from here. So our school actually was burned and we had to be closed. We almost lost the school, which is Our Lady of Malibu, is right over here.
Okay.
So the Franklin fire in the 10th was actually pretty dramatic.
Before Christmas last year even.
Yes.
Wow.
So last Christmas was pretty difficult, and then we got another 1-2 punch at Palisades. So this community is really hurting.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't live here anymore, but the people who are here and who drive by can be reminded about that Christ is still in Christmas.
There's still hope.
Yeah.
That's
still hope.
Amazing. I can imagine you and your family know a lot of people impacted by this, right?
Yeah. We lost a lot of homes. I have friends that lost their homes.
Yeah.
I was teaching first grade last year, and my student came in the next day and she had lost her home. Wow. And to see the community come together, one of the students actually who lost their home, her birthday was December 20th, and every single person came to her birthday party from the school.
That's beautiful.
That was just really meaningful to everybody. So this community really brings together.
Yeah, I guess my prayer for this community going into the Christmas season, we always, as Christians, we go, Christ is the reason. It's not about all the other, commercialization of it. But after people have seen this tragedy and how quick the things of this world can go, I believe that this nativity right here every day to and from work is going to remind them what is Christmas about, and not the Black Friday deal and all that stuff. Not that it's bad, but it's great to have this visual reminder that we'll do that.
So one of my favorite things, my favorite Bible verses is Ephesians 4:24, and it's to always reflect God's holiness. But sometimes we forget to reflect God's holiness. And this is always a constant reminder, but then you have to remember after Epiphany and after this comes down, you have to keep still reflecting God's holiness. And I think that's where you become salty.
Yeah.
And just remember, get under people's skins.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah. Well, give me, how does that look? It
looks different for everybody.
I agree.
But, my motto is act the way you want to be perceived when no one else is looking. and that's kind of what I like to do.
And people are always looking, especially
They're
like,
always looking.
is there pressure for you? Like are you known in the area as like the Nativity, keep Christmas or not?
For better or worse, I think so.
Yeah.
So this has been it's gone through maybe 4 presidents since the 60s. So my predecessor, she's pushing me real hardcore.
Yeah.
I think she's ready to retire.
Yeah. Has there been any, push to try and, deny the permit or not have it here or not? Or,
No, not in Malibu.
Good,
there
great.
were some nativity scenes issues in Santa Monica, but
okay.
it's down the
not,
road.
That's not your problem.
That's not my problem. But that's the difference between Santa Monica and Malibu. Malibu is really a deep-rooted community that means
interesting.
that means a lot. Like we will have a huge menorah here in 2 weeks, right beside each other.
Yeah.
And what was really great is there was one part of the permit that me and the Chabad Center decided to split the cost since we're using the same site.
Yeah.
And so we worked together. My kids actually went to the Jewish preschool.
Okay.
Before I started the preschool at Our Lady of Malibu.
Yeah.
So, we worked together. We just, hey, we're using the same site. Why don't we band together and save a little money?
How can people who are watching this video pray for what you guys are doing with Keep Christmas or Keep Christ in Christmas, and even just for this community, considering the year that you've all had?
Just thinking about Malibu is not a bunch of superstars. We got a couple.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are regular people. A lot of people have just lived here for 60 years.
Wow.
When you could actually buy a home here that wasn't ridiculous. But there's a lot of old Malibu in here. We just want the way it used to be. My husband, he's gonna hear this, he's gonna kill me. But he's like, all these 2-name clothing stores, bring me Straw Hat Pizza back, and the Cookie Post, and
that's actually kind of common around the country, as we get older.
I know.
And other stuff starts to change.
Grandma.
Yeah, I know. We're starting to sound like our grandparents and our parents. Yeah.
But Malibu has changed over the year. Even I've been here about 20 years.
Yeah. The wind blew our mic down. Yeah.
It's changed, but there are some things that are still here, and
this is a reminder of that.
Yes,
but this is the thing that never changes, whether we have the Nativity or not.
Never changed. I think we've gotten some new candles.
But the message, what I'm meaning is the message that this is behind doesn't change.
Yes.
And I love that people driving by have seen nativity scenes. It's in Home Alone, right?
Maybe we're in the church.
I'm not going in there.
Me neither.
Yeah.
We've grown up, and whether you've fallen away from the Lord or not, this is a reminder. And who knows what happens when people go home and open up their Bible on Christmas Eve.
So I grew up, and one of my favorite things about Christmas was the midnight service at Front Street Methodist Church in Burlington, North Carolina, and we would sing Silent Night with candles, and that's a flashbulb memory for me. But now this is my flashbulb memory, and it was kind of a little difficult to but now this is mine.
And you've created it for your kids and your community, which is awesome.
Which is awesome. Every year, the feed bin would donate bales of hay.
Okay.
And that unfortunately got burned down the Palisades Fire. So every year they donated hay for us.
Okay.
But this year we had to go somewhere else. But they have donated it for 50 years. So that was pretty sad.
Yeah.
For losing a family business, but also they were so part of this nativity.
Yeah. Wow. And that's probably, everywhere you look, businesses are gone and lives are impacted.
So that was pretty sad.
Yeah.